Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome. Lisa Mingus should be joining us here pretty soon. Oops, forgot to shut the door. Let me do that right quick. Here we go. We're going to be doing some painting. I'm going to be working on some leaves for the fall. Got a couple of leaves here I'm going to be working with. So this is a new one for me to use. So we will just go ahead and get after it. Some orange on here. What I want to do is I'm trying to get this darker, yes, about this color. This color, I know it's light, you really can't tell, but get it darker. So I'm going to add orange in a few places here. I don't want a whole lot, but I don't want too little either. So that's the biggest thing, is finding just the right blend, just the right amount of paint. Go. Oops, that is way too much red right there. And I am going to bring a drop brown right here. There we go. Let's go on with 3 colors. Let me get this over here out of the way. There we go. I can get this paint. I'll blend it up here. Put that there like that. And this right here. Get it put down. Get that done up. I'll just rub this on, making sure that I get all the leaves and push down. Pull this up. See what we get. There we go. Nice outline. Let's push this over here. Oh, beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Let me go ahead and put this over here. Let that dry so we can use it again. Okay, let me get this off this part. Okay, I'm going to pull that with some, let it sit there for a little bit and dry, because there's some blotchy places here that I can see. I really want a little more wet than the rest of it. Okay, I think I'm going to go with some of this buttermilk. It's not as dark as the beige, but it's still a little, it puts a little more tint to it than the Snow White there. Let me just put a little line of this right here. There we go. What I'll do is I'm actually going to go this way too because you notice that it's not picking up the paint here. We'll make sure that we get paint all over this. So I'm going to, and it's starting to pick up. So let me go ahead and get this done right quick. Hello, Miss Cindy. Hello, hello, welcome. Yes, I'm waiting on Lisa. She hasn't joined me yet. Are you going to be able to join me or are you just going to be able to watch? Sure will, Lisa. Hold on just a minute. Hold on just a minute. Let me get out of here right quick. Do this. Sorry about that, guys. Lisa Mingus. And send it to Lisa. Okay. That should be sent. Send it to Cindy. Just a minute. Sorry about this, guys. Okay. I'm on StreamYard. Be on StreamYard. Alright, let me go ahead and pull this off before it makes homage on this plate. Not a bad pull. Your Facebook has locked you out of Messenger on the computer. Huh. Well, Lisa, I don't know what to tell you. How stupid. Let's see. How else can I send it to you? I send it through, so it's locked you out of your Messenger. Let's see. Go in on either any of the channels that you're added. Hello, Miss Teresa. Go in any of the channels that you know that you're in that are mine, Lisa. As far as open chain should be an invite to here. Any of the other things that I'm involved in, you should be able to find the invite. There's Cindy. There we go. Let me get her again and get her in here. Into storage. Good morning, Miss Cindy. Good afternoon. Oh, technical difficulties. Cindy, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear
Okay.
me?
Yes, I can now. I'm gonna set the
Okay.
volume down. Okay. We're just waiting on Lisa. Miss Teresa's here on the screen here watching us.
Okay. Email it to her. Can you email it to her, the link? Hi, Shanika. How are you, honey?
Hi, Shanika. Let me see if I can email that to her. Can you email it? I don't know how. Can you email it to her, Cindy?
Let's see. I don't think I have an email address for Lisa Mingus.
I don't
Hold
know
on
that I
just
do either.
let me go here. Be link address. Oh, hold on. Let me change this. Go. Oh, maybe here.
I'm just adding some paint here. See if we can't duplicate the same amount of paint to make the color coordinated that we had the last time we did the last bowl we did.
Let's see. These Mingus.
That's her, Lisa Mingus.
She doesn't show up in my list on that account. But let's see if we change accounts, if she'll show up in a different account. Okay. Gmail.
There.
There. Yeah, no Lisa Mingus on any of my accounts.
How
So
do
I
I
don't.
go about doing it, Cindy?
Um, just open another tab on your computer.
Okay, I don't know that I have her email address either, be honest with you. Let me look right quick.
Okay.
This paint is dry. Let me smear this paint right quick.
Oh, this journal that I'm working in, yes, this is a special order journal that I'm making for a friend to hold her paper dolls. But yes, I did make it. I'm still working on it. Okay, here. I got her email. Lisa
You
Mingus
got
at
her?
Gmail. I got it. Yep.
Thank
Here
you,
we go.
Lisa.
Okay. There. There we go. And I hope. There we go. Okay, I emailed it to you. It's going to come from cndlovin at Gmail. So I just sent it, honey. There you go. It's sent. We can remove your address if you want. That way
Yeah.
it's not. Yeah. There you go. Anyway, yeah, this is for a yeah, I just sent you an email, honey. Uh do you know how to let's see. I think I can do this. Nope, I can't. If you click
So
on the dots beside your name, you can remove your comment.
I think I can do it for you, Lisa, if you want me to take your
So
email address off.
there we go. Anyway, and so it fastens a different way than I've ever fastened anything on this journal. So I have this band of pearl trim that is glued in between the cover and the lace. And I have taken and removed two pearls, and that will wrap around that button and fasten it. You kind of have to finagle with it, but it does work. Anyway, so, but yeah, I had this brilliant idea. We were talking about how was I going to fasten it. Somebody said pearls, and I said, "Oh, I got this pearl trim there, and it fastens just like that." And then it's easy to get into. But right now we're working on pockets because it needs a whole lot of pockets. There you go, a whole lot of pockets, uh, because it needs to hold a paper doll.
Oh, man.
So you can just stick the paper dolls. Now these are pockets too. These are both pockets. Anyway, but I've literally cut out a whole stack of pockets. And we're just, yeah. And there is a request for a lot of lace. So a lot of lace. And there's some just trim. This is a fabric pocket. I've actually, that's what I'm trying to do is count how many pockets I have in it. One, two, four. This lace, four. Then five. That's a big pocket. And I'm
See,
keeping these. If you do not know what this is right here, this is Khadi watercolor paper. It's an all cotton watercolor paper that comes from India. And I'm keeping them blank so she can artsy fartsy on those. So anyway, now I've lost count in my pocket. One, two, three, four, five, 6, 7, 6. I'm not gonna count that as a pocket because that's not big enough to put much in. 6. Okay. 7,
Okay.
8, 8.
I'm gonna pull this one and do the same thing on that again.
8. Thanks, Lisa. Did you get that email, honey, from me? So I've got 8 pockets in
Let
it.
me see if I can do this.
I want to put one right here. And actually, we're going to do this and cut it and make it a belly man style pocket. I'm looking for something though. What am I looking for? Oh, what am I looking for?
That's not what I wanted.
No
I'm
email?
gonna get that dang thing down. I done hit something, guys. I wasn't supposed to be hitting.
I
And I don't
still
know where
hear
you
you.
can you see me?
Yeah,
What I'm talking
I
about is
see.
this the
No, I
Lisa's
see you.
message. I'm
I
talking
see
about this
you.
Lisa's message is what I'm talking about. I want to get rid of that.
Oh, okay. Hold on.
Display.
Go up in the corner where you display.
Hold on a minute. Let me see if that works. No, I don't see that. I made this huge. Hold on a second. Technical difficulties, ladies. She started at 1:30 trying to get on.
Oh
Lisa,
my
I'm
goodness.
sorry. What I'm trying to do is to invite you from here, and I'm not having a good luck at it. I'm hitting everything but what I need to hit.
Okay, I resent an email. So I did resend the email. There you go.
Okay.
Okay. We put lace on the other side of that one, didn't we? There we go. You're rubbing off on her.
Just a little bit of brown on there.
There. I knew I did. I knew I put lace on that. I think I want some lace on this one too. Do I want the exact same lace? Oh no, let's do one of these pages.
I think that's gonna be a little dark.
Let us do one of these. Okay, let me pop over here and look in StreamYard and let's see, hold on, let me go. I don't think I'm trying to go to your StreamYard link, Cindy. There we go. So over here,
Yeah.
okay. So in your if you're on StreamYard and you look at your comments where it shows you on the StreamYard page, you have Lisa lit up in blue, and I think if
Yeah.
you click on that, it will come off.
Okay. No.
Uh,
Ah. Unga bunga bunga unga.
it did some. There it is. There, it's off.
All right. We got that like taken care of. Now trying to get Lisa on here.
Is
Dang
she
it.
in the studio?
No, she's not in the studio at all. I'm not seeing her
Okay.
at all.
Well, you can't get her on there doing that.
No.
Um.
Let me see something. This here.
There. Okay, Lisa. You should definitely have some emails by now.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay, so if you're wondering what this stuff is, it's a netting with some feels like to be spackle on it. It came from Dollar Tree originally, but I didn't buy it at Dollar Tree. It came in a package of stuff that I bought in a craft pack from like uh, Goodwill, a bag of crafty stuff. So anyway, but this is what I like to do with it. I like to take it and lay it on a page and glue down the edges, and then it makes a see-through pocket. You can still put things in the pocket, but I like it with the bumpies on the outside. It's a really cool piece of stuff, but anyway, but yeah, that's what I like to do with it. Okay, and I'll just start right here. And yes, I'm using hot glue in my journal. I've gotten real bad about doing that. Used to I only used just glue, but now I use a lot of hot glue in it. Especially when I'm doing them when they want them really lace heavy. And this is for Angela Adele, so you know it. She wants lace. That girl likes lace. She do, she do.
Yes, she does. Alright, I'm about to start pulling paint off, so let me go ahead and get this pulled up. I'm going to use
Here we go.
this here.
Is
Let's
Lisa
see.
backstage yet? No?
No, she hadn't said anything.
Oh no.
Let's see if we can do this. I haven't done this before, so I'm trying to do it. Let's see.
Uh-oh. I dropped a dab of glue there, didn't I? I want a dab of glue right there. I want, that's hot.
Yeah, that kind of stuff kind of gets a little warm, Cindy.
Huh? I'm convinced I don't have fingerprints no more.
Not quite on top of it, but a little bit.
I haven't played on my jelly plate in forever. I think the last time I played on my jelly plate was on one of your lives. And it's been
Probably.
a month or so since I've been on
Uh,
with you. So,
I was going to say it's been a while.
anyway, I didn't do, I did painting papers for my trade for my channel, but I did not do any of my painting papers that I made the night I was demonstrating painting papers. I didn't do anything on the gel print. I did it with shaving cream and
All
paint
that kind of stuff.
and alcohol inks. So
Yeah.
anyway, I like that. That's cute. That makes
I think
9
we just
pockets in
play with the
there.
different colors here.
So
Add a little more color. Different
okay.
colors.
Now I had this one laid out, and we're going to make this into a belly band style. But what I keep sitting here going, what am I looking for? What there? That's one of the things I'm looking for right there is my vest. So when I make a belly band style pocket that is a diagonal one, I like to put a divot on each end. And let's find some inky and ink this pocket just a little bit. We are going to have to trim the edge, but we'll trim it after we glued it. No, we'll trim it before we glue it, but it has to be trimmed.
Okay, she's given us another email address, Miss Cindy.
Okay, let me go here.
You see it?
Yeah. Oh, this would help if you'd add the at Gmail here, Cindy. There. There. Okay. There, I sent it. She forgot her S. Funny story about S. So when Dave started and I started dating, of course I'm not from his town. I had just moved there in July and we started dating in September. And so his mama wanted to know what my name was, and he told her Cindy. He says, "What's her last name?" He said, "I something that starts with S." And his mama being ever so fast as she always was with her thinking, she said, "Well, I can think of a lot of things that start with S." Anyway, but what's funny is after Dave and I got married, he told me to get something out of his wallet, and I found a piece of paper in his wallet, and it had my phone number and the name Christina on it. He thought my name was Christina. Do
Oh,
I look do I look like a Christina to you? Absolutely not.
yeah,
So
you could be.
I don't know. Anyway, but yeah, he didn't even know who he was going to start dating. My friend Betty set us up. She was a nurse, and I had I had seen him at the county fair. We started dating right after the county fair. I'd seen him at the county
Yes,
fair, and I
there
was
she
working.
is.
There she is. There she is, Miss America. Anyway,
Yes,
there's
definitely not Miss America.
There we
uh,
go.
anyway.
Oh my goodness, that was an
Woo.
event.
Yes, it was.
I, so I've been cleaning my desk. You might can tell it looks a little better than it has,
Hey, I think
and
I'm going to declare this one done.
I've been cleaning. I've actually found these little squirrels I had cut out at some point in time out of splattered
Oh,
papers. So I'm thinking, okay, I need to do something. Here's some of my fall stuff I found in cleaning. I've cleaned for 3 days now.
Drew in my breath like that because when you said little squirrels, a lady that used to go to my church gave me a whole bunch of fall stuff, and there was a bunch of little pumpkins. So I wrote what all of the doors were: my office, Pastor Ricky's office, the prayer room, the toddler room, the nursery. I wrote all of that, and then there was this trim like you would use on a bulletin board that was squirrels, and I put squirrels above all of them, so we're all
Cute.
squirrely.
We're all swirly.
Squirrely, squirrely.
But this was out of a journal, like a daily journal or calendar, a day planner that my
yeah,
daughter had got, and then it wasn't big enough for her to get her school assignments in, so she was going to throw it away. And I used this for a lot of different things, but I thought that was kind of cool.
You
yeah.
rescued it.
So I want to try to put something together for that. And then I had this is out of a magazine, one of those pages that I messed with, and that's a piece of contact paper. So I thought I like that. So I think I'll put the squirrel on the other side. My girls did my nails last night, so they're all sparkly. They they wanted them to be ready for fall.
Yeah.
I cut my nails last night down into the quick, just about. I mean, literally, they ain't a nail there.
Well, my daughter did my nails before I went on vacation in September, and they lasted for almost 3 weeks. And I generally do not do nails, but she's really really good at it, and I kind of got used to it. And my nails break and chip; they're just real fragile. So that kind of worked out nice for me. So I told her, I said, I want you to do my nails again. She said, okay. She said, what's for dinner? I said, I'll make you dinner. Don't you worry about it. And
Yeah.
she did. She come over here and I made dinner and she did my nails. So I thought that was kind of cool. Pretty good trade off.
And
Yeah.
look it to me, I want to cover that piece of lace. So this is going to be the laciest, trimmiest journal I've ever made, I'm sure. And this,
Well, if it's going to have paper dolls in it, they'll probably have lacy clothes too.
yep. And what's funny, this is the fourth journal I have made for Angela.
Does she do them all for different reasons?
I, to tell you
Or
the truth, she hasn't opened and looked at any of the ones that I've made yet.
are you serious?
I'm serious.
Oh
So she
my
wants
goodness.
to open them when she can do a video of them. And she wasn't
Yeah.
set up to do videos. I don't know if you know Angela or not, but she's a voice actor. And so she was working on a movie for when she'd been working on a movie that just recently released. And
Yes.
so anyway, uh so she hadn't opened none of them. None of them. So I'm always harassing her about opening my packages. So
so
anyway, I
she
said, you know,
so
I
she
said,
does voices. Who does she do voices for?
uh, she has done commercials. If you look, let's see, I was trying to think what the name of that guy was, that producer that she just done uh one with. Anyway, but they just did one and just had a red carpet event. Oh, that's pretty. I like that green velvet there. Okay. But yeah, they just had a green carpet event, a red carpet event for the premiere of the movie, but I don't remember names at all. And it wasn't the name of a movie that I would know. I don't, you have to understand, I don't watch movies at all. I don't watch
I've
movies.
been in a movie before.
Woohoo! Look at you go.
Yeah.
Just an extra.
Yes. They were filming in the town next to mine, and I was on for we have a school of the arts and they do a lot of makeup and they do some filming, on low budget films. And I got a call from the lady that was acting as my agent, and she said, "Can you go to a church tomorrow?" I said, "I can go to church anytime." So I went up to this church and they had like a coffee shop on the side of the church, and it was open every day. And then on Sundays, they served the coffee to the members that come in early. But yeah, it's a movie called Diamond Cut. It was really a sweet movie, but it took them about 4 years to get it fully done. It wasn't fully funded when I knew may or may not, go very far. So it was kind of cool though.
I'm trying to see if I can remember what. Okay, here we go. Because she posted about the red carpet event going to be, but I'm not seeing. Oh, so Angela is very interesting. She has a brother who is a pastor, and she also has a niece that has recorded some beautiful songs. If you ever click on her thing, you can listen to her niece doing her song. She has a beautiful voice. Anyway, and it's Christian music. It's Christian music. So anyway, but yeah, Anywho, it's all very interesting. But yeah, she does voice. She has a YouTube that has some of her voiceover things that, and I've watched it. It's real interesting to see. So there, I got
Yeah, I've seen some, videos of people doing their voice acting, and I think it's pretty cool. Nobody wants somebody that sounds like me though, a little
no.
country girl.
That's kind of like me. I mean, are you looking for a hit? I think I'm
Yeah,
for you.
that's
So
kind of the way I feel about it. If you're looking for somebody that's
Country.
a home girl, that's me. I could be a home girl.
Southern as they come. And I can, and it's like when you hang around with people who are Southern too, you get more Southern.
Mm-hmm.
Michelle, you grew up in Texas.
Yes,
When
ma'am.
you're with your now, when hear you talk, and me and you talk on the phone, we talk anyway.
Yeah.
But when I hear you talk, I don't hear a lot of your Southern accent. But I bet when
Oh,
you get with your family, you get
when
more
I come
Southern.
when I come back, like when I went out and visited mom and dad and come back, it was thick. Yeah, it gets
Robert
real
was
thick.
like, "Hey, did you leave my wife? Hey, where did you leave my wife that don't talk
Where
like
did
that,
where did Michelle go? My husband likes y'all.
y'all?"
Y'all.
Why is it that people that are not from the South think that's just a cool word, and we're like, everything is y'all?
I don't know.
Y'all, sugar.
Yeah. Oh, anyway, but
Well,
yeah.
my mom and dad both had pretty much the same dialect that I have, but my children don't sound like I do at all.
So,
They sound a little more modern, I guess, for our area.
them the story of Tim Tebow here in the church you used to go to. That's cool, Teresa. Tim Tebow is a wonderful example of what God can take and rescue. His mom was told to have an abortion because of that he was going to be born. Um, I can't remember what all, but it's just a beautiful story. As a person that has never been able to get pregnant, I find it a beautiful, beautiful
Yeah.
story. You know, uh, and I don't talk about this because it's really nobody's business, but the lady that had my son, my oldest son that lives with me, she had 3 or 4 abortions prior to Jared being born, and she didn't want to abort him because she eventually they were hoping to get married and have a family together one day, but they weren't ready yet. They were she was older than him, and he was only like 18 or 19. So
Wow.
anyway, but yeah, I'm trying to think if I want to put something on this. Ooh, that right there would be pretty on that.
Oh yeah, it will be.
Well, my
Teresa, how are you? How have you been? I haven't caught up with you much lately. Of course, I've been doing. We got our yard work done, and then I sat in this week, and I said I'm going to get up here in this room, and I'm going to, try to get things together and organized, and that's what I worked on really hard this week. I'm making progress. I've
Well, that's
taken
all
out,
counts as long as you're making progress.
yeah,
yeah.
I've actually carried out a bunch of stuff, and hoping to carry out some more. It sure won't hurt.
Okay,
Yeah.
now I can't remember where you're from, Lisa, but that phrase right there about carrying out, that is I mean, I know my granny used to say, "Your papa carried me to town." It meant he was taking her to town. Uh, you know.
Yep. I'm from
Anyway,
North Carolina.
okay, I was gonna say that's I know it's a Southern phrase because Granny always used to say that that's how they always refer to instead of going to town or taking me to town. I got carried to town. I'm like, okay, wait, did my grandpa really pick you up and carry you on his back? Yeah. Of course, Granny always. Then I got in trouble for being a smart aleck, but you know how it is. But when before our boys were born, Dave worked in nuclear plant business, and we traveled, and we went to New York. And right before we had left for New York, I had signed up to work with Fuller Brush as a rep with them. Well, you got to know people where you're at to be a good rep. Anyway, we get to New York and I don't know people, but I contacted the company, and the lady that was the rep for that area, the super district rep, she hired me to come in and to make phone calls from her office to people who were answering her ads in the paper wanting to be a Fuller Brush rep. And so I would call. I I don't have a question about that. You're being nosy, Google. Anyway, my Google's answering my question. Anyway, so she hired me to do that, and I would call people and I would say, I'm calling in regards to the ad you answered from the paper yesterday, and about a job. And they'd get real, real quiet. I mean, like real quiet, and they'd say, "Where are you calling from?" And I'd say, "I'm calling from Lake Mohegan." And they'd say, "You're not from around here, are you?" Say, "What gave it away?"
That's too funny.
And a lot of them just like to talk to me just to hear to know, they're like, "Where are you from?" I ended up making a really good friend that I kept up with for years. She's a little Jewish lady, and we were great friends. She was the same age as my mama too. So this is going to end up being a double pocket because I made it into a pocket. So
That's cool.
yeah, she'll have places to stick dolls she never thought of sticking a doll.
Cindy, did you know that my mother's profession was she was a doll maker?
I did not know that. That's cool.
And I actually have a certificate. Uh, I'm certified to teach porcelain doll making.
Did she? Okay. So did she sew the bodies of dolls and put porcelain heads on them? Did she make the porcelain heads herself, like
We
ceramic heads? What, or did she make cloth heads and paint the faces on, or what?
we made porcelain dolls, and we poured the porcelain in the molds and provided those for her customers. Um,
Wow, that's
yeah,
cool.
so
And
we
then
definitely
if you poured them, then you had to paint their faces too, didn't you?
yes, yes.
What kind of paint did y'all use on a porcelain? Did y'all use like a stained glass paint, or was there a special paint that you used?
There was a special paint that was made by Bell Ceramics, and it was for the porcelain. It
Mm-hmm.
worked a lot like a if you ever did ceramics and you used a glaze. There was something called
Mm-hmm.
Easy Coat. It
Yes.
was similar to that, but it had an oil in it.
Yeah.
So, do
But
you
yeah,
have
we
very many of her dolls
I've
left?
got some. I, I don't have. She gave me two that I've kept. They were kind of special. The first one she made and the last one she made. That's what I've kept. The
Okay.
the
Did she ever?
others that I took just so she wouldn't be upset that her dolls were being donated or thrown away. I sold some of those, but I kept one Santa Claus that she made, or Father Christmas. He's adorable, and then that's about it. I've got a couple that I made, but they're not out. They're in a trunk.
Did
I
you?
just
Did she ever make like puppets, like the string puppets, that a lot of them have the porcelain heads, and then they're operated, their bodies is operated with strings.
No,
Okay.
no, we did. The dolls that we would make were strung together. Um, when once it took, they had to be fired once, and that was with just like the greenware, the raw
Yeah.
porcelain.
Mm-hmm.
You'd
Yeah.
clean it up, paint it. You wouldn't paint it then. It would be fired
Right here.
that
Mm-hmm.
first time, and then you would paint it. And after that,
You fired again.
yeah, it would be in layers. We
Mm-hmm.
generally produced them in different layers.
I used to do
Yeah,
ceramics, so that's how I
yeah,
know.
yeah. And your mom, wasn't it your mom that had a kiln?
Mom, yeah, Mom still actually she sold her kiln.
Yeah,
But
I
yeah,
saw one for
she had
sale
a
recently, and it was a little tiny one. I was telling my kids, I said we used to have them so big that we'd have to stand on the stool. They would have
mm-hmm.
collars on them, and we would have to stand on the stool in order to reach all the way down into the bottom.
Yep.
It was kind of funny. We
Do
used to do
so
that.
your mom had her own kilns then to
We had at one point we were doing so much business that we had 3 kills. And
We
wow.
then
had
we had
two.
one mini one that we could do heads only in. That's about all that would fit, or a set of hands, something like that.
Yeah.
So we did
Oh,
all that.
that is interesting.
It was
My mom
fun.
my mom so in Arkansas we have this um agency. I had to think what it was called, an agency called RVAC, and it's a help agency. They help things, and they used to have a gift shop, and my mom used to sew and make teddy bears for that gift shop, and she would make
Oh,
bears that were only 2 and 3 inches tall,
Oh,
and her fingers. If you saw my mom's fingers, the arthritis that she has gotten from the years of making stuff that tiny and turning it and stuffing it, but also from quilting. My mom is like a master quilter. And so she don't do a lot of big, now she makes a lot of quilt tops, but she can't sit and quilt them no more. It's too hard on her physically to sit and quilt them. But
yeah. I can't. I'm limited into what I can do with my hands. As
so
far as like hand sewing, I can do a little bit, but once I get to a certain point, it's just very difficult to
let me
do
show
it.
you what she's doing now, okay? So now she's started making wall hangings. And although that's pictures of my peppers and my tomatoes. My peppers and tomatoes didn't do nothing all year long, and I just fussed and fussed because they would bloom and then they wouldn't set up anyway. So so now I have a pepper plant out there full of little peppers, and a tomato plant out there full of little tomatoes, and yeah. Okay, so she's making these wall hangings. Can you see this? I don't know
oh,
if
the
you can.
little doggies.
This is
Look at those
a
little
little wiener
doggies.
dog.
Oh,
Isn't that
Can you see
cute?
that?
Yes.
Isn't
that's
that sweet?
cute.
And then
That's
Mm-hmm.
let's see if
adorable.
I can go. She's made a little Highland cow,
Those are darling.
and they're wall hangings. I think they're about 20 inches high and 16 inches wide. And she pieces this part. She pieces all of this, and then she hand quilts it. I mean, machine quilts it. Let's
Yes.
see. Okay. Oh,
Uh,
here's her rooster. Just trying to see. There's the cow again. Oh, here's another little puppy.
Oh, how cute.
those are
Anyway,
cute.
she's asking me, she's like, if I wanted to sell one, what would I sell that for? Oh, this was a cow that I absolutely love that she made.
That's darling.
I said, Mama, I have no idea. I can't tell you what to sell them for. I said, I
Well,
can't remember to what I would, you know, think about what I would sell things for. So what I'd do anyway. But we're always sending back and forth pictures of things things that we find. So this is the next thing that. So she sent me this picture. She says, "I love that house," but she says to make a pattern, I need all that stuff removed from it. So I uploaded it to AI and asked it to remove. Let's see, to remove everything but the house and to put it
How
into
cool.
2-inch quilt blocks, and that's what it did for me.
oh
So
my
then
goodness.
she was able to take it and write it on her chart. I printed it off for her, and she's able to write it on her chart. So this is her next project is this house. So
That is
anyway,
adorable.
That
I
is
think
darling.
that in order to price it, she needs to really take into account how much time she put into it.
You know what though,
so
Lisa? People will not
They
pay.
won't pay, but you can negotiate.
so
This is
my
true.
mom's quilts that she gets. So I sold one of them. I'm not going to say who it was to one of my online friends, and she paid her either $700 or $800 for the quilt.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And and I was just like, I can't believe you got that price for it. And she's like, she was really shocked, but she knew it was worth it. It was a
Yeah.
beautiful quilt. I and y'all, I have so much trouble understanding why how people end up as adults and not own a quilt. I'm like, how did you get here and not have a quilt?
That's
I never
funny.
had any. But the funny thing is, I never owned a comforter until I got married, and my mother-in-law gave me one. All I ever had was quilts because my granny quilted, my mama quilted, my great grandma quilted. I never had anything but quilts. I've got quilts laying in the floor that the cat sleeps on. Anyway, they're not my mama's quilts. They're bought quilts. We don't do that. We're very careful with the granny quilts, but anyway, yeah. I just
Well,
have
I have
quilts
to
out my
tell you, I never had a quilt until my mother was moving out of the house that I grew up in. My dad had passed away, and she was remarrying and moving to the farm. So when we were cleaning out one of the closets, there was a quilt top in there. And she told me, she's, oh, that brings back memories. My mother made that. Well, her mother died when I was 5. And I said, well, Mom, what are you going to do with it? She says, I'm going to send it to Goodwill. I said, no, it's not going to Goodwill. It's going to my house. So I put a back on it and hand quilted it. And that was the first quilt I ever had. But it was interesting because just last weekend I was talking to one of my cousins, and he was telling me about what it was like growing up in the house that my mother grew up in. And he said, this is no lie. He said that he would get a glass of water before he was going to be going to bed, and it would be frozen by the time he got up the next morning. Frozen.
Goodness.
yeah.
And I said, well, how did y'all stay warm? He said, Grandma always made quilts. And I knew from what Mama had said that all their quilts were made out of recycled clothing. When it
Yep.
wasn't fit
Mm-hmm.
to wear no more, she'd cut it up and piece up quilts. But she said, Mama told me that it was real cold and drafty in the house because there wasn't no heat. There was no heat. All they had was the
Wood stove.
fireplace and the wood stove, and that wasn't enough to keep it warm through the night.
So my granny and them they had wood heat till they died, and they would only heat the front of the house. The bedrooms were ice cold, and you went to stay the night at Granny's during the cold weather, and the quilts were piled so high on the bed you got under. You didn't need no weighted blanket, that was for sure, because you couldn't move. There were so many quilts on top of it. So, but
Well, that's
yeah.
what I was telling my sister what my cousin had told me, and she said, "Yes." She says, "I remember how cold it would be." She said it would take me about 4 or 5 quilts, even in the summertime, because it would get really cool at night. She said if you didn't have a blanket, you'd feel like you were freezing to death because we were used to central heat. And I just couldn't imagine it, because I don't remember staying there when I was young. I don't remember. She
So
said I did, but I was just too young to remember.
when we lived over at the foot of the mountain, at one of the mountains, over at Petty Jean Mountain, we lived in an old farmhouse, and there was no insulation, literally no insulation. It was just the boards and the outside.
Right.
Anyway, well, there was newspapers, old newspapers. I should take that back. But so we had run a gas heater, and we used up 200 gallons of gas like in 2 weeks. And so we knew we couldn't afford that. So we heated our house with gas, and but I mean, with wood. We heated with wood. A man in our church gave us a wood heater, and we bought oak blocks and we burnt them. There was um oh a place that they made pallets, and they'd have these oak blocks, and you could get all you could get in the back of a truck for $50. And so we could heat with 2 loads of those. We could heat all winter because they were oak, they were hardwood, they burned slow. And so we would heat with, but the back of our house, we would blow fans to blow the heat, into other parts. But in our bathroom, which was in the back corner, it would be so cold in there, and the pipes would freeze because it was so cold back in there.
Oof.
So anyway, but yeah, you took a real quick bath and shower, and you got out of there real quick. So, and we
Well,
blocked off rooms that we didn't use. We'd block off those rooms so that we didn't what little bit of heat we had wasn't escaping out. So
right. Right. Well, their house was not insulated. There was my
I mean, that's just
grandfather had built the
farmature.
house,
Yeah.
and there was he had used the clay, basically the clay that was on the land, to fill in between the cracks. So it was drafty and it was cold. And I remembered it being really, really cold. I definitely was not, a good situation. But they did not. My grandmother never knew what it was like to have central air or heat. They did not modernize until 1980, and up until that point, they were still using. They had like cold water, and a hand pump in the kitchen, and that was the only place that there was water available.
And they
So
had an outhouse, didn't they?
they sure did. They
My
sure
grandparents
did.
had an outhouse. I want to say it was in the 70s before they built a bathroom in the house, and my granddad never did think it was natural to do that in the house. You'd see him, he'd be heading out to the outhouse, say, Papa, there's a bathroom in the house. Yeah, you're not supposed to do that inside the house. He'd say, he said, that's just not right. Anyway, but yeah.
It's what they get used to. I mean, my mom always had this terrible fear of spiders, and I understand more and more why she was like that, because
Yeah,
they like that dark, smelly place.
they do. Yep.
And she, they'd tease her a lot of times if they found spiders in the outhouse. They would tease her and tell her she needed to get on out there, that the spiders were waiting on her.
Oh, Now your mom is gone now, right? She's already
Yes,
passed.
my mom's gone.
So my granddad was born in 1917. No, 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 not that granddad. That my papa. My granddad, grandpa was born in 1917, but my papa, the one that did the wouldn't didn't like to use the bathroom in the house. He was born in 1911. So he died in 1984. Uh yeah, in 1984 he died. Or was it 85, because he died when he was he died on his birthday anyway, but that don't matter. I mean, that's not important, but yeah, you know, and you think about it and you think, oh man, uh, that's that's over 100 years now.
yeah,
But
a
anyway,
long time
we
ago.
we were talking about this. So my granny was born in 1917. She was 6 years younger than my granddad. But we were talking about how old we were, and I was talking to mom one day. I said, Granny was always so old to me. She always seemed so old. And I said, but then when I started counting up, she wasn't that old. And she says, no, she really wasn't. I said, when I was born, she was in her 50s. So, and I mean, she already had other grandkids. Let's see, 1917, and no, she was 48 when I was born. I remember that now. She was 48 when I was born. So, yeah. But my mom and dad were 40 when their first grandbaby was born. So, uh, I won't be a young grandparent if I ever have grandkids because I'm already 60 and I don't have none. So,
Well, I'm 64 and my husband's 67, and we don't have any either. And if that's the way it is, it's just okay.
I have god grandbabies, my god kids, godchildren. I have three godchildren, and two of them have kids.
Well,
But
that's good. At least it's
they're
like
not they're not here. They don't live here, so I don't get to see them very much. So usually once a year.
well, that's better than not. But
Uh,
you're around children all the time though.
yeah, I got all my babies at church. I got all of them. So would you? Okay, you see what I have laid? Can you see what I have laid here? Did we lose Michelle? Michelle,
I'm here. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but you're not on screen.
I know I've totally lost my screen.
There you
Totally
are.
lost it.
Oh.
Hold on, you're just black. I mean,
Wait.
your screen is black.
Yeah, I know. I see it, and I don't know what to do about it. Stupid thing. Let me. Uh,
I hadn't even looked at the screen in no time, and I looked over and you were gone. So my question was, would you make this a pocket like I did the other one with the other orange, or would you make it a flip up?
ooh, I wouldn't do it a flip up.
Yeah.
Okay, I haven't done a flip up in this one, so I usually always do a flip up in most of my journals. So
Well, it's
and
just gonna be
then
like it is because I can't figure it out.
well,
Y'all are on screen, girls. That's it.
l- let
You'll hear
me
my little voice.
go up back over here to my StreamYard,
I don't know what's going
and
on.
let's see what's
Let me
this.
remove my. No, it should keep y'all in as long if I remove myself and see if I can remove myself and come back in.
Okay,
Hold on, girls. I'm gonna try something. It may throw everybody off.
well, if we disappear, we disappear. It won't
Amen.
be the first time I've disappeared out of a live.
or for me, it won't be the first time I failed to make an appearance or hold my screen here. I don't know. I used to not be so technically challenged, but my computer, I had not been on Facebook on my computer since it ran the last update, and apparently it had signed me out. Well, then it
Oh,
wouldn't let me get anything new as far as the messenger. It wouldn't let me get anything new. It wanted me to put some code in. Well, I don't know what code it wanted. It wouldn't send me a code. So I was just sitting
Yeah.
here.
See, I have mine set up with a code that it's a 4 number code that I use. Uh, it's like a pin for like
Right.
restoring your chat.
Well,
So if you
this
use like
was this was like a 7-digit number it was asking for, and
oh,
I didn't know what that was. Wasn't anything I remember setting up.
did she get to come back? Let's try to see. So, anyway, yeah. So one of the fun things that I did this week that is just you talking about being technically challenged. Mine isn't so much technically challenged as it was not paying attention. So I use Facebook normally to pay my rent. Okay.
Yeah.
I use MetaPay and it's only available through your Facebook on your computer. If you use Meta on a phone or a tablet, you have to have an app downloaded. Okay.
All right.
So I paid my rent. I pulled up my landlord's name. I scrolled down. And when I scrolled down, it also pulled up names that had his name in it. Like his name is Samuel Adam. And so it pulled up a
Oh
friend of mine's
Lord.
a friend of mine's name that her name last name is Adams. Guess who I paid my rent to?
The wrong person,
I did.
but it was somebody you knew.
Yeah, it's somebody I know, and they because they only use their Facebook on their phones, they don't have the ability to go into MetaPay and decline the payment. So I have to wait for a week with no action on it, and then Facebook will repay it to my account.
Oh
So
no.
so you can't stop those because it's like an instant cash transaction. You can't
Right.
stop it. Oh, I was like, so I'm messaging my landlord, and he's like, "Oh, that's cool." So this morning I went ahead and paid him out of my other bill money since I should be getting it back. But anyway, there I put that little flyer and a piece of velvet over the top of it.
That's cute.
So,
Yeah,
Can
that's
you
oh,
hear?
you're
cute.
there. I hear you talking, but I
Okay, I
don't
got
see your
that
picture.
fixed, but I can't get the picture fixed. I don't know what it's doing.
Dad
I
burn
don't
it.
know. But
So,
I'm here.
how
Got that
long have
fixed.
we been here? We've been here an hour now.
We've been here over an hour.
Yeah. Well, whenever you get ready to go, you just say because I'm going to be working in this thing all day. So, anyway, but
Well, leave it to Miss
oh,
Lisa. Lisa, whenever you're ready to go, just holler, girl.
Well, I can do that.
You can do that.
I can.
There you go.
so I love the feel of this cotty paper. Have you ever used cotty paper, Lisa?
No.
So, cotty paper is a cotton watercolor paper that is originally from India. This one came from India, and it's all cotton. And I love the feel of it, and I like to craft with it, but I hate painting on it. I don't like to watercolor paint on it, which is what it's made for. But I don't like to watercolor paint on it. So let's see
Do
what
you
else I.
like to watercolor?
Oh, I like to watercolor. Yeah. Let's see.
I've been playing with it just a little bit. I like it, but I'm not that good at it.
I'm not great at it myself. Oh, there it is. I was looking for something. So I have I have a little book here. Now I have big books too, but I have this little book that I paint in,
Okay.
and I find myself painting more in it than I paint in anything. So this is just watercolor and some acrylics. And these are just, I watercolored and then drew the face in with pencils. And this is just dude on. But here we get back here some watercolor. I mean, everything on that's watercolored. As is the fairy. And let's see. and the fall trees and the fall. All this is all watercolored. And then this was a method, a technique I was trying out from watching somebody do something.
Do
And then
you ever watch Karen McCoy?
I do watch Karen McCoy. Yep.
I
These
think
are
she
me
makes it.
practicing.
She sure makes it seem simple.
Yep. Uh, these are flowers I've been practicing with, had practiced on. This is
Oh,
from
they're good.
2024. And then that's flowers and a lady looking out a door. And then this is probably my favorite one. I did some stenciling here, but I painted this. It's a fairy that's got her hair caught in these vines, and this little pig rescues her. And I
Oh,
painted
how
this
cute!
from a storybook. There was a storybook that I had that picture in it, and I loved it, and I painted it. And then I stenciled because I painted it here across the page, stenciled on this end, and I wrote in it, "I am fearfully and wonderfully made." So
Cute.
chickens, more flowers, more flowers. I love to paint poppies. Oh, and my little gnome. So my plan when I got this book was I wanted to fill it up in 2024, and here we are in October of 2025, and there's not a single 2025 picture in it. So it's not that I haven't painted, and I'll tell you something else that I have that helps me to paint. See these? This is a mini watercolor set by Prang, and
Yeah.
Dollar Tree sold these for $1.25. But they don't have them no more. That I've had it for over 2 years. Anyway, but the paints are really nice. I mean, they're not bad paints. You can buy this set on Amazon. It's like $2 or $3 over there. But anyway, I really love it. But I have so many watercolor sets that it's unreal. But yeah, I like to paint, but I haven't painted in a long time. So I have
I've
that.
got I've got a couple of watercolor sets. I've got pastels. You know, I've got a lot of eyeshadows that are real high in their color pigment, and I've found that they can be used just the same as watercolors. They actually, go on pretty good.
Do you use have you ever done any art with you talk about you have pastels? I'm not sure if you're talking about pan pastels or pencil pastels. You have
Um,
all these pan pastels.
I don't have any of the pan pastels. What I have is it's like chalk. It
Okay.
actually is like chalk, but we used to use that.
These are just
We,
like chalk.
yep, they're like colored chalks,
Yeah.
and they're
Anyway,
in
but they're in a
squares.
pan, and I when I use them, I apply them with a makeup applicator.
Yes.
So
Well, I use them. I will wet my paper and then use a dry brush, and it works.
I've never done that.
Like I'll put it, you know, like what I'm stenciling right now. I will use it instead of acrylic paint,
Let's see.
just for something that's real soft. So my
Yes.
kids are buying into that eyeshadows expire, that you
Oh,
shouldn't use them for more than a year because they become contaminated.
yeah.
So with them believing that, they're throwing away these very expensive palettes. And I said, wait a minute. That's an art supply. Let me have it. So I take their discards and bring them to the craft room. But I
So
don't have I have more of those palettes than I do of any watercolors. But I've got like 4 or 5 sets of watercolors, and I bought one. So the rest of them were things that were bought for the kids when they were in school, or you know, my youngest daughter was in accelerated art classes, advanced art classes. So she had to have, pretty expensive supplies.
This is a watercolor I did with metallic watercolors. And I
Now
did
I
it on a
don't have
book.
any pearl. I don't have metallics, but I do have some that are pearls that are pretty cool.
This is done on a book page, a vintage book page, and the book page is not very stable. Now, these are copies of watercolors and art that I've done over the over the years, and I've just laid them and copied them on my copier, and
That's
it's just
cool.
art papers. But then here's some of the original art. I like to use a lot of metallics in my gel printing and in my
Mm-hmm.
painting. This is gel printing, and then I painted the girl on top of it. This is all watercolors. Not one of
Cool.
my best. That one's watercolors. This is done with uh, graphite, graphite pencils and pastel art, and I'm sure y'all know who that is. That
I
is
can,
Frida Kahlo.
I can the eyebrows.
Yeah, and the mustache. Anyway, and then that's just some of my doodling. And then I was getting ready to draw some, some I was getting ready to draw a bouquet, and I noticed that they look like pickles. So I made them into scared pickles, and it says never a deal moment.
Cute.
And then this is my fairies, and these are my chubby fairies. They're a little
How
chubby.
cute.
So now that's a rub on butterfly, and here's poppies. I have painted tons and tons of cards that were poppies. And then I was into a thing of painting the different levels there for a while. And here's kitties I painted.
Meow meows.
And these are this is a gel print, and then I come back in and put the art on top of it. And this is a turtle that I cut out of, that metal tape that plumbers use. So
Yeah.
I die cut a turtle out of some of that metal tape and then put it in my sea scene. And I really like to doodle, and so this is a lot of my doodling. And then this is some of my fairies, and I printed that on a photo page. I don't like it. This one is one I done where I dropped ink and blew it around on a photo paper, and then I come back in and doodled it along with this one. And then this was one of Carrie. You know who I'm talking about? Carrie. So,
Yeah.
Carrie with the C. This was one
Yes.
of his challenges, one of his color challenges. And then that was the house I tried to paint, and I don't like it, but I don't throw away any of my art. This was me doing some flowers and some more
Mm.
flowers, and I was swatching some colors too, practicing some strokes. Flowers, flowers. Oh, and this is a mountain scene that I did. And more flowers, more flowers. Lots and lots of flowers. Oh, this is a card that I made. Oh, and this is my cherry blossoms.
Those are so
Uh,
pretty.
23, I done those. And this is what I call blob flowers, where I just take paint and blob it around, and then I come back in and draw in it and make it flowers.
I
As
like
was
that.
that one. And then
Yeah.
this is a brush stroke exercise where you made brush strokes and then you come back in and doodled on it. I have no. Oh, that is one of this is one of my gel prints that I done an image transfer. It was a successful image transfer. And this is
Nice.
my 2024 Christmas card. Y'all know I paint a Christmas card
Yeah.
every year
Hmm.
and send out. This is the original painting of that. So I do it. And then
Oh.
this one was a card. Oh, these here are cards that I painted, and they were thank you cards, and I painted them, and they're folded like this because I sell them like this, and I I sell them as print. I print them off on my computer because I have a color computer, and then I print them off and cut them into cards, and I sell them as print. So that's just
Nice.
a little bit of the art stuff that I've saved that I haven't given away. I don't usually throw away art, but sometimes I do. Sometimes it's so bad I don't think I can save it.
Well, I've been brutal in my cleaning this time. I've been brutal. I have cleaned out underneath my desk, all the shelves to the left of me, and I have taken out, like I said, I've carried out a bunch of trash, and I'm glad I got it done. I mean, I feel like
You
it
achieved
was long
something.
it was long overdue to do it.
I love these little plastic envelopes. I'm sure they came from the bins or somewhere, but I just stick my stuff in them and stick them in a corner over here. I have a corner down there that I stick stuff in. Guys, I'm tired of working in this journal. I think I'm going to go sit in my chair and pet my puppy.
Well,
So,
you
Okay.
you go, and it's been fun. Sorry it
Yeah,
took me so long to get on.
that's okay.
And my daughter just came in. She was in office today, so I'll talk to her for a little bit. But it's good to hear everybody's voices today. I'm glad
Yeah.
I could come play with you. Now
Yeah,
that
baby, we can do it again next week.
maybe
Maybe.
maybe so, we'll see how it goes.
Yep. Cindy, I'll see you later, girl.
okay, honey. I'll talk
All
to you
right.
later. Bye bye.
All
Bye
right.
bye,
Bye. Bye,
everybody.
Lisa. Bye.